Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boring Enterprise Nerds Nerdletter Talk. It's myself, Elena Perfileva, and Paul Moderman, my
Hi guys.
partner. We have a newsletter, and every couple of weeks we gather around to talk about the potential subjects to write in the said newsletter. So, without further ado, I will start sharing my potential three stories, and then it will be over to you, Paul. All right, let me share stuff. So my first story is kind of loosely named SAP Miscellaneous News because we don't usually cover news per se because we were not really newsletter like Times of or like the Register here or anyone like that. Our
Yeah.
goal is not cover like the latest news necessarily, and especially purely like board restructuring is not
Yeah.
something that I would typically write about because it frankly I don't really care. As I think as veterans in SAP, we have outlived so many game of corporate thrones moves in SAP world that yeah we have outlived many C suites there. So, but there was surprisingly the whole like array of unrelated or I don't know maybe they're related somewhere in the hush hush background that I
Yeah.
have no
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
about. So SAP just kind of ambushed us with lots of different news, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to summarize like what the heck happened for our readers. So first off, um, SAP did some kind of restructuring of their executive board and that's actually stories that I have written about search for SAP CTO when
Hmm.
former SAP CTO like Jürgen who like departed a while ago for some strange reasons. There was some speculation of who may be next CTO because I think for technical company people believe it's quite important role.
Yeah.
And in a
Yeah.
surprising twist this time, I believe SAP did not really actually fill the role per se. They kind of decided instead to make some changes and just reshuffle their board completely. So there is SAP executive board. If you look it up, it's like few people like Christian Klein is there and few like big names like executives. But
Yep.
I believe they have created some kind of equivalent of kiddie table for the executive board where
Yeah.
they put some executives who just looking at the titles they seem to have more like maybe practical and somewhat maybe operational and internal to SAP
Mm.
role in it. And surprisingly, well, this is CIO article. It's a top items that Google found on this subject, and they're writing researchers boards emphasize AI first, suite first. To be honest, it's not really the message that I got from that because they already appointed like chief AI officer before, but surprisingly, it doesn't look like he moved up to the like big table, but instead, kind of, yeah, he's kind of sitting at the kiddie table now with a bunch of other guys, and on top of it, he actually got saddled with something like a CTO title. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering like
Yeah.
what's up with that?
That's yeah. The so you and this I actually had I wish I had written this down on an envelope because I could like tear open the envelope
Yeah,
and show you
prediction. Yeah,
like a prediction that you talk about this because
yeah.
I also flagged it, right? And but I flagged it from Philip Herzig's perspective. I saw his
Mm,
announcement on LinkedIn. He's the guy who was chief AI guy and became, in title CTO.
yeah,
But like you said, he sits at the kiddie table a little bit, the kids
yeah,
board table, the weird cousins Thanksgiving table
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit, right? He's not at the like the big
yeah,
huge
yeah. Like
jacked
don't like
muscles table,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Let me
So
actually
it's
Google
got
up.
some
Yeah,
yeah,
executive
it's got
board.
some
Because it's surprisingly like few people and it's all like public information because SAP is public company obviously.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Christian Klein, Mohammed Alam, Dominic Assam, obviously conciliary, Thomas Suaresic, and I don't know, I guess I know a new person or not, but she seems to be not really, speaking too much at the events that I attend.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
so and that's all. That's executive board. That's all that we're kind of seeing. So there is no CIO, nothing. AI guys not here. So yeah, it's very
yeah,
very interesting choices. Interesting. All right.
yeah.
So
And the
second,
and the kids, I don't even think the kids table is on the site yet
I
either.
you
So
c- yeah, I couldn't
yeah,
even find it here. I eventually stumbled upon it. It had like a list of it. I think there is some kind of another link,
yeah.
but
I see a list. There's in the story that from SAP News
yeah,
Center.
yeah,
They have their extended. It's called extended board.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, so they
now,
have the CMO,
so they
the
they
BTP
clean
guy is there.
they,
Yeah.
they clean court executive board, and now it's going to be side by side extension with other executive boards.
Oh,
So
that's
here
perfect.
goes the punch. So it's like whole array of punchlines. I will
Oh,
milk
that's
milk the
perfect.
story for memes and punchlines for weeks. And that, not to be confused with any of it. There is supervisory board. This is more like people like them. What's his name? Hasselblad.
So yeah, yeah.
It's funny. It's like Hasselblad. What's his name? Like, but like you leave your universe and you're dead to
You're
us. You're
gone.
God.
Yeah.
So Hasselbladner kind of moved away from administrative duties, and Christian Klein has been CIO for CEO for a while. And but this is where people like that would sit. So supervisory board, it's like completely different institution within SAP. I don't know, weird bunch of people that you probably never hear about, but they are kind of watching, I guess, for the shareholders. So yeah, that's kind of a structure. So
Yeah.
fun excursion into
Mhm.
corporate kind of hierarchy. Then second piece of
Mm.
news that was obviously made a lot of noise. And SAP, I
Yeah.
think, confused a whole bunch of people with that because and just to give some historical perspective to some people who might be not in the loop, SAP had a deadline for end of life for their business suite or ECC 6.0 for a long time. They set it initially 2025, then years ago they have extended it to 2027, but a few years ago, I think 2023 or so, they came out explicitly saying like, no, we will never extend it, like forget about it, guys, stop asking, etc. However, now they they did not like completely walked back on this, but I guess they decided there is money to be had with their SAP Rise engagement. So they probably, did some predictive analytics stuff, I don't know, applied some cool AI or whatever they did, and they came up with this idea that, hey, you know what, we're not going to extend this 2027 deadline like across the board for everyone, but like for like $1 million,
Yeah.
if you signed up for Rise with SAP, then we're going to give you some leeway and till like 2033. So yeah, so that's additional extension. However, it's for SAP Rise. So Lindsay Clark correctly called this here. It's not a U-turn, but it's only for qualifying work. So some people, yeah, again, they got confused. They thought it was like across the board extension. No, it's not like that. So there was, I guess, some kind of corporate number punching game behind this that led to this decision. But nevertheless, I think it's important to call out, at least to bring some clarity to what exactly the news was. All right.
Yeah. That's good to get clarity
Yeah,
there, you know. Uh,
yeah.
There's I think there's still going to be questions and stuff like that, but
Oh, yeah,
it's just like I mean, if you paid us a few more bucks, I mean, we could extend it a
yeah,
little further for you if you want.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
like it's really just like it's kind of like dark genius, I guess, to
Mm,
because like SAP wants a specific kind of cloud ERP to be the thing.
yeah,
And if this makes that better for everybody involved,
yeah. Yeah.
makes
Yeah, I
sense,
mean, yeah, I mean, it's a for-profit company. They
Yeah.
don't hide their intentions to make
I mean,
money. So it's yeah, it's kind of no surprise. So if there is money to be had, and they can take it, they will take it. So
Yeah,
that's kind of to no one's surprise.
sort of genius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some interesting stuff. All right, so moving moving away from SAP, Game of Thrones, and some kind of backstage manipulation stuff. Purely technical story, and this is just one link I wanted to share, but story will be about ABAP packages. And it's most ancient, I think, concept in ABAP world. Um, However, I think there are some uses for ABAP packages, namely with sub packages and with peculiar feature of package interfaces that I'm highlighting here, that honestly, some people still do not understand. And before we move completely to the cloud, I just want to kind of point that there is some really good use for packages that I think some people are just not thinking about that way. So yeah, it's kind of I kind of seem to be on nostalgia trail with my RFC story in the previous issue and packages in this issue, but I think there is still um, it's kind of I always think like there is so much old stuff, but there is still so much people don't know or just don't consider about old stuff. It's
Yeah.
kind of the unlimited well of of knowledge that we still can go back to. I think for years to come. So yeah, so
Yeah.
just yeah, interesting concept. That is
This is a
kind of
good one.
yeah
This is a good one, especially too, I think, because like I have definitely seen places because I mean, both of us have been consulting for a few years
yeah
and seen different customers and different things. I have seen places where like the package strategy was like, well, we have to slot it into a package somewhere. Let's just make a
yeah
Z
yeah
everything
yeah
package,
ZDev yeah
right?
yeah
And go all the way to like the other side of it. But I think at least one of the things you get just is you just get some, like, you need your code not just to do things, but you need your code to like tell your developers what's going on so they can
yeah
work with it better.
yeah
And at least part of the goodness of packages is getting a semantic structure around things in that
yeah
regard,
yeah
which tells you, okay, I'm in the general area of material bombs somewhere here, right?
yeah
Okay,
yeah
I think I can kind
yeah
of wrap my head around what's going on if I stick to this package for this.
yeah
That at least, I mean, there's more, but that's one of the things that should be done with what you do packaging wise.
yeah yeah and this specific feature of package interfaces, and to be honest, I have not been using it myself because I think when it came about, it was kind of too little, too late
Yeah,
moment for it. But it just made me think of packages themselves as a way to kind of encapsulate code, maybe not as strictly, but very specifically, because you can say, hey, we're going to create this package for this very specific purpose, and we're going to consciously put some code in it. So if you decide to violate this purpose, well, I mean, it's on you, buddy. We were very clear what this code was for, and it wasn't for anything else. Because if it was for anything else, then we would have put it in different place. So that is also, yeah, like I said, it's just great way to communicate our purpose, I think. So yeah,
yep.
so very nice kind
And
of
stay tuned next time when Yelena goes into Screen Painter for you
yeah
and tells you how to do something.
latest news about BDC. That's the secret that yeah, people consultants will not tell you. Yes, consultants hate that one trick that you can do recording, and that you can generate a program. Awesome sauce.
uh,
So and short story usually try to move away from SAP and ABAP just to bring some variety to people who are not interested in ABAP maybe. So this has been sitting on my in my backlog of stories for a while, and I think it might be kind of perfect time to bring this up with everything that's kind of shit shows that's going on in the world right now.
yeah, yeah,
The Techno Optimist Manifesto. I think we all heard about Agile Manifesto. I don't think many people heard about this one, and it actually may not really be as much of a manifesto per se. It's kind of an article that this guy have written. Um, and what he's saying is basically what this title says. It's we don't necessarily need to be pessimistic about technology, how it's how it's ruining our lives with all the social media platforms and how people just kind of getting very too much screen time, etc. But it actually there is actually some kind of optimism to it because technology also brings a lot of opportunities that just did not exist before. And honestly, for myself, frequently people talk about like, oh, like, yeah, back in the days we people communicated more and we went out more and yeah, that's valid. However, back in the days, I could only write a letter to my family that lived in another city, or I
Yeah.
could send like a telegram. I could not even call them. That's how old I am,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Soviet Union wasn't really didn't have good, well developed phone network like US did. Um, but now, and I'm talking to people in other countries every day. I
Yeah.
think many of us do. And how amazing is that? And we kind of don't really stop to acknowledge that and to see what good can we do with this. So yeah, so I think it's nice to just take a pause from from criticizing technology and just look at it like with more, I think, optimistic lens. And this is like very, very long article. I wouldn't say I kind of agree to all of it, but I think it
Sure.
brings a lot of yeah, and especially like this one, civilization was built on technology. It's something that we are kind of forgetting. So
Mm.
that's all for me, Paul, and over to you.
Over to me. And we'll start first with the thing you already talked about.
We're
And the
stealing each
only
other's stories.
yeah, the only flavoring I was going to add to this that my perspective was that this guy grew up from chief AI officer to CTO,
Mm,
right? So that's a
mm,
pretty clear indication of the like, yeah,
yeah.
AI is like the thing. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but it's further confirmation of that idea for what folks are doing priority-wise at SAP,
Mm,
right? If you get a new C-level job, by the way, there's like any these days there's like a lot more C-level titles out there in the world.
yeah.
I keep
Yeah.
hearing, but CTO still carries some weight, even if you're not at the big kids table, and like that is a further checkbox in the AI. Pow, pow, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that, and this is the news, the SAP newsroom story about that very thing, and we find
Mm.
here the new kids table people right
Oh
here.
yeah, there they are.
And there's
Very
a
good.
there's a TBA. So guys, if you're looking for your next role, General Manager Business Suite, TBA on the extended board.
And that
So I
that
guess you
contract,
can.
sorry, that contract will expire in 2033, I guess.
So leave your resumes at boringenterprisenerds.com and we'll send them on to SAP for that one. Um, I did also see that our buddy Timo published a piece about the enterprise architect skills of the future.
Mm,
And so I didn't make this connection until just now, but I just said that there's like an explosion of like C-level titles all over the world. I mean, I
mm,
think architect is another one of those titles that like
yeah.
people kind of get because there's no other way to like pat them on the head for something,
Mm,
right? So I think a lot of people have an architect title. No offense, a lot of people have an architect title that doesn't rhyme with what we used to think of as like software architect,
yeah.
right? It kind of has become more of like you're just an expert and we don't have any more titles to give you.
Yeah.
Now
And
here's that, right?
yeah.
That being said, I do think there is actually a role for a person that does the thing we're kind of used to,
Mm,
or in the past we thought of as architect. And this is a rundown of the skills. And I have a couple of ideas of maybe some other skills or things here
mm,
that don't fall in here, but that I want to say too. So thank you, Timo, for dropping this out there. And I kind of want to add some Paul flavoring to it in terms of especially some of the add some more to the non-technical pieces here. I think there are more things to be said about
mm.
the non-technical side here.
And
So
just
I will
yeah,
shout them out to the world in my article.
just to add to this, like I said, I think architect role is extremely important, and good architect can easily make or break any project.
Mhm.
There is, I think, somewhat not exactly alarming just yet, but there is a somewhat worrisome trend of people to think about enterprise architect or any type of architect in SAP as just a kind of high paid job that pretty much everyone can do for some reason. And I have seen posts just recently, and not just one, there are a couple very similar questions asked on Reddit. Oh, like what course can I take to just become like an architect? And every time it's like, to become real architect, like actual architect doing real architect's jobs that we do,
Yeah,
you cannot just take a course for this. I mean, obviously you can to become better at architecture or learn specific skills, but I honestly I wouldn't take seriously an architect who doesn't have practical experience to back up whatever they're trying to architect. This is one of those, like in the army, we don't see like 20-year-old generals, and there is a
yeah.
reason for it. I think you need to I'm not the one to gatekeep professions from anyone, but this is essentially equivalent of general rank in IT world, or at least it
Yeah.
should be if we are talking about talking about this seriously. So yeah, if anyone is thinking that I see, this guy's like just drawing diagrams and getting paid big bucks. No, it's not like that. Or if you see someone claiming to be architect with like 2 years of experience, honestly, just don't take serious those people. So yeah, sorry, my kind of boomer
No, that's
complaint.
that's good. I mean,
Yeah,
I think the actual like enterprise architect like training course is just
yeah,
life for
yeah,
like 20 years or whatever,
yeah, yeah,
like I don't know
exactly.
what else it is.
Enterprise
Just
life. Yeah,
do enterprise BS for 20 years. Hey, that's a pretty good little mark on your thing. And it doesn't have to be 20, but
yeah,
it's a decent number. It's
yeah,
not two.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah.
So there's that. Uh, everybody and their brother and sister and cousin are talking about agent stuff right now. ServiceNow is unveiling new agentic AI innovations. Um, they are saying that the availability is March 2025. The thing that I want to say about this, and I think about agents in general as they continue to like become the thing that everyone talks about, is that like if you're a customer, I think that you should look at any promise from a vendor in this space and go, okay, am I okay if 60% of this is true and 40% of this is not true yet?
Mm,
If so, maybe I should look at this. But like, just as with every sort of new frontier, as AI gets better and better, it's amazing. And I jump in like headfirst to all of them. But the first go round always has the warts that unless you're willing to invest the time to investigate and work with the warts, you probably don't get a magic thing out of the box. You get something that's better than there was before, for sure. But you got to have a really good idea of like, does the impact of something less than what they promise still mean something to me as a company or a leader or whatever person with the credit card buying the agents, right? You
mm,
got to say, if this can do a really good job on less than what they say, am I okay with that?
mm,
And then maybe climbing the hill. Because I just seriously doubt, like, Microsoft talked about agents. Salesforce, of course, has Agentforce. And like, I have no doubt that there's some cool technology there. But I also do doubt that every single Salesforce agent does 100% of what it promises
mm,
to the customers. And you just like, it's going to get better, it's going to get more amazing, but you got to ask the question, what's right for me now? That is some subset of what the promises are in these things.
yeah,
That's my perspective on the agents.
yeah,
And
yeah.
sort of in the same vein of agents, a couple months ago, Anthropic sort of put out there this thing they call Model Context Protocol. And what it is kind of a standardized way for adding little tools and things to agents, starting with Claude, but really anybody who uses the protocol as this stuff. And what's been great for me anyway is I've explored this, and I've actually built my so Claude has an app that you can run on your desktop or whatever. And I wrote a little connector that connects to like our S4 system at our company
Mm.
at Mindset, not Boring Enterprise Nerds. We don't run S4 here. Um, uh, and so I can like inside the Claude experience, Claude can literally like reach out and go get code from our system.
Mm.
And Claude can riddle if Claude writes code, Claude can automatically like syntax check that code against our system rather than just inventing code out of the air and saying, "Well, I hope it works." You know what I mean? Because it
Yeah.
can't ask. So I've done some fun things there. I'll share maybe a screenshot of that or something like that. But I think this is the important stuff to think about in terms of where does the AI rubber meet the road for those of us just doing our thing
Yeah.
inside big enterprises is like sometimes the magic wand appears and you get everything you want, and sometimes you kind of see the opportunity to add a little tool of your own to the pile. And
Mm.
this is kind of more like add your own little tool to the pile. And for some people, it may really help. So I
Yeah.
wanted to share it.
Yeah. Awesome.
That is my sharesies.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. And yeah, as usual, keeping us informed about AI stuff. So so all right. So thank you everyone for watching today, and I hope you subscribe and then read the stories in the upcoming issue of the Boring Enterprise Nerd Letter. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.